that? Yeah. You know, in the world of actors, writers and directors and performing arts, there are lots of very highfalutin notions as to what we're about and what it all means, trying to reflect the profundity and complexity of the human condition. And I have worked very, very hard my entire 45-year career as a professional actor. I've been lucky enough that I was actually able to support myself as an actor and didn't have to, wait tables for very long. And along the way, I've played Hamlet, I've played Macbeth, I've played Prospero, I've played some of the great roles of Western literature. I've had a wide and varied film and television career. And as one grows older, I guess and you begin to take stock of your life and your career and your work and try to get a sense of the arc of it. And harmonize the reality of what you've done, what one has achieved, with all of those highfalutin notions of shedding some glimmer of light into, or as Shakespeare said, holding the mirror up to nature. And there's a certain irony that I've always carried with me, that in the final analysis, the very, very, very finest work of my career was playing a zombie in a genre that's known for glorifying and gratuitous violence. And it only just occurred to me a few minutes ago as I was sitting over there kind of thinking what would I say today to express my gratitude to George. And I suddenly thought of something that I've known for many years, but I never actually put it together, and it's Shakespeare, in his own time, the single most popular play that he wrote was not Hamlet, was not Romeo and Juliet, was not Macbeth, was not The Tempest. It was Titus Andronicus, a play in which there are multiple decapitations, rape on stage, bloody stumps, blood galore. And the Elizabethan audience just loved it. And it mixed in, glimmering amongst the blood, was some profound ideas about the nature of revenge, the blinding, the way in which that impulse tends to blind people, humanity at large. The people came for the blood, they came for the gore, and were not even conscious of the fact that much deeper, profounder aspects of the human condition were being, through smoke and mirrors, planted into their consciousnesses. That was kind of the genius of Shakespeare. And I think George had an aspect of that genius. He raised the genre. He deepened the genre. And he had a gloriously good time doing it. And I personally am vastly grateful that he chose me to play the role that I played in his movie. Many times through the years at conventions, people have asked me, well, what was it like to be directed by George Romero? And I don't know, it's hard to come up with and again, just moments ago, sitting there, I suddenly remembered something. And this is exactly what it was like to be directed by George Romero. Years ago, I was in a cowboy movie, not a movie, a TV show, and I had to ride a horse. And a friend of mine who was a serious horseman said the thing you have to understand about the relationship between the rider and the horse, if you've got a really good horse and a really good horseman, is that you have to do, as a rider, very little. You don't kick the animal, you don't jerk the reins. All you have to do is lean, and the horse knows what to do. And that's what it was like to be directed by George. You could hardly perceive what he was doing, other than a couple of remarkable jewels of insight that he suggested to me in a very casual way. I wasn't really aware of being directed by him. And yet, as I watch the film, his hands are all over my performance. He was a great man, and I was personally greatly blessed by my relationship with him and my work with him. And as all of you, I will miss him.